Hello, students. In today's lecture, we are going to learn about work, energy, and power, NCERT section 5.11.2 and 5.11.3, and example 5.12. So, this is disclaimer. Learning objective. By the end of this lecture, you will able to understand the concepts of collisions in one dimensional and collisions in two dimensions. Two dimensions means plane. So in today's lecture, we will cover first collisions in one dimension. After that, collisions in two dimensions. Then example 5.12. Collisions in one dimension. Imagine one ball rolls straight and hits another ball in front of it on a smooth track. A car bumps into a truck directly from behind. Two gas molecules moving in a straight line hit each other. So these are all examples of one-dimensional collisions. That means motion is only along the straight line, or we can say along x-axis, either toward each other or in the same direction. So in one-dimensional collisions, two objects collide along a straight line, and their velocities are also along the same line. So in one-dimensional collisions, the momentum of the objects before collision is equal to the momentum of the object after collision is equal. Now, if the collision is elastic, so in that case, the kinetic energy is also conserved. And if the collision is inelastic, the kinetic energy is not conserved. It may be or may not. And if the collision is perfectly inelastic, in that case, kinetic energy also not conserved. But in all these three cases, elastic, inelastic, perfectly inelastic, the momentum is always conserved if no external forces acts. So this is the one-dimensional collision. Perfectly inelastic collision. So a perfectly inelastic collision is a type of collision where colliding objects stick together. Like this. We have two objects. The mass is m1. The second object is having mass m2, and the initial speed of the object having mass m1 is u1, and the second one is the at rest. So when m1 collide with m2, so they stick together and moves as a single mass. m1 plus m2 is equal to m. So moves as a single mass after impact, and the maximum amount of kinetic energy is lost. So this type of collision is the perfectly inelastic collision. After collision, objects stick together and moves as a single mass with same velocity v. So now consider a case if we talk about the perfectly inelastic collision, and the collision is in one dimension. So let the initial speed of the particle with mass m1 and be u1, and the mass m2 be at rest. The initial speed u2 is equal to 0 because second object having mass m2 at rest, having at rest, whereas first one is moving with initial speed u1. Now after collision, when they collide, so both particles stick together. Their masses will be m1 plus m2 is equal to. So after collision, the masses will be stick together and move with common speed, and the speed is here v. This is the illustration after the collision. Before collision, the scenario is like this: m1 is moving speed u1 and m2 be at rest. And after collision, they stick together and move with common speed. Clear? This is we talk about the perfectly inelastic collision. Perfectly inelastic collision. So using conservation of momentum, we know according to conservation of momentum, momentum neither be created nor be destroyed. It only transformed. So the initial momentum of object having mass m1 is m1 u1, and the initial momentum of object having mass m2 is m2, and the object having mass m2 be at rest. So their initial speed is 0. So this is the equation before collision. Then after collision, both objects having mass m1 and m2 in perfectly inelastic collision, they stick together. So their mass will be m1 plus m2, and they move with same speed, that is v. And this is the scenario after collision. Now we will solve this equation. So m1 u1 as it is, so it will become 0. So m1 u1 is equal to m1 plus m2 multiplied with speed v. So we have to find out the v. So v will be what? V is equal to m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. So this is the final speed after collision when objects having mass m1 m2 stick together. The speed is this one. So loss in kinetic energy of the collision on the collision is change in kinetic energy is equal to here final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. But in perfectly inelastic collision, there is a loss in kinetic energy. So to show the loss in kinetic energy, the change in kinetic energy is K initial minus K final. So initial kinetic energy is half m1 u1 square minus final kinetic energy after collision when the objects stick together, it will be 1 by 2 m1 plus m2 v square. So this is the final kinetic energy and this is the initial kinetic energy, and their change shows change in kinetic energy, or we can say loss in kinetic energy. So now we know the value of v, we already calculated. So just put v is equal to m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1 in the above equation. In this equation, put the value of v. In after that, when we putting the value of v, the loss in kinetic energy on collision equation will be changed. So it will be delta k is equal to 1 by 2 m1 u1 square minus 1 by 2 m1 plus m2 into m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1 whole square. So just here we put the value of v and the equation become like this. This is all about the perfectly inelastic collision. So don't be confused. Now solving for delta k, loss in kinetic energy. So delta K is equal to 1 by 2 m1 u1 square minus 1 by 2 m1 plus m2 into m1 square divided by m1 plus m2 whole square u1 square. Delta K is equal to now solving further. Delta K is equal to 1 by 2 m1 u1 square minus 1 by 2 m1 square divided by m1 plus m2 u1 square. So now here m1 u1 square is common in both equation, m1 square u1 square. So take 1 by 2 m1 u1 square as a common term. So the remaining term will be 1 minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2. So this is the loss in kinetic energy. So delta K is equal to 1 by 2 m1 u1 square, and after LCM it will be m1 plus m2 and 1 by 2 m1 u1 square into m2 divided by m1 plus m2. So change in kinetic energy is equal to this one. This is the loss in kinetic energy. Initial kinetic energy minus final kinetic energy. Delta K is equal to 1 by 2 m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 u1 square. Clear? So this delta K shows positive as we expect. Next is elastic collision. Elastic collision. So same scenario here. So we have a two objects m1 and m2, and their speeds is u1 having mass m1 and u2 at rest. And this is the scenario before collision, and this is the scenario after collision. So let's see the definition of the elastic collision. So our collision is said to be elastic if both momentum and kinetic energy are conserved during the collision. It means in elastic collision, both kinetic energy and momentum of the objects are conserved. After collision, the objects separate, they do not stick. After collision, the objects separate, they do not stick. So no kinetic energy is lost to heat, sound or deformation. So elastic collision is a collision where kinetic energy is conserved. The total energy of the system before collision is equal to the total kinetic energy after collision, because there is no loss of kinetic energy if we talk about the elastic collision. If we talk about elastic collision, so in that case objects bounce off each other without any loss of energy to other forms like heat or sound. So let us consider same situation but now for elastic collision, where kinetic energy and momentum both are conserved. So initial speed of the particle with mass m1 be u1 and the mass m2 be at rest. It means the second object be at rest. The initial speed u2 is equal to 0. Clear? This is the scenario before collision. Now the final speed of the particle is v1 and v2 after collision. So according to momentum conservation, the momentum of the objects before collision is equal to the momentum of the objects after collision. So let's see here the object having mass m1 the momentum is m1 u1 because the speed is u1. And if we talk about the mass m2, so the initial speed is 0. So their momentum will be also 0. This is the momentum before collision. And after collision, the momentum of the objects are m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Now we will solve equation 5.23. So mathematically here m1 u1 minus m1 v1. So this term having m1 v1 comes like this. m1 u1 minus m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2. This is the simple mathematical algebra. So m1 in both term here common. So take out this as a common. So m1 into u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 v2. And let this is equation first. So now we will use the conservation of kinetic energy or with conservation of energy. So here kinetic energy is also conserved. So if we talk about the before collision, the kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m1 u1 square of object having mass m1, and the kinetic energy of object having mass m2 should be 0 because m2 be at rest. And after collision, the mass is energy is 1 by 2 m1 v1 square plus m 1 by 2 m2 v2 square. So now simple mathematics we will use here. m1 u1 square minus m1 v1 square is equal to m2 v2 square. This is the simple mathematics. 1 by 2 cancel out from both sides. The remaining term is this one. So now here again m1 is common. So take out it common. So it m1 u1 square minus v1 square is equal to m2 v2 square. So now solving here u1 square minus v1 square. This is the formula. Which formula? u1 suppose the formula is a square minus v square is equal to what? A plus b into a minus v. Yes or no? So same formula we use here. u1 square minus v1 square is u1 minus v1 into u1 plus v1. So this is the formula, and the RHS side is m2 v2 square. Now we will solve this equation. So m1 u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 v2. Yes or no? So the equation is m1 u1 minus v1 u1 plus v1 is equal to m2 v2 square. So this is equation first and this is equation second. We already calculated it. So dividing equation second by equation first, we will get new mathematical terms. So it will be m1 u1 minus v1 into u1 plus v1 and divided by m1 u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 v2 square divided by m2 v2. Yes or no? After division, equation will be this. So m1 cancel out. Similarly here m2 cancel out, and u1 minus v1 cancel out, v2 cancel out. The remaining term is v2 is equal to u1 plus v1, and this equation v2 is equal to u1 plus v1 is very important. So this is equation number 5.25. Clear? So put v2 is equal to u1 plus v1 in equation first. We will get m1 u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 u1 plus v1, because we know m1 into u1 minus v1 is equal to what? m2 v2. So just put v2 is equal to v2 in equation first. So equation first here is this one. So just substitute the value of v2. So it will become like this: m1 u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 u1 plus v1. So now further solving, it will be m1 u1 minus m1 v1 when we multiplied m1 with both u1 and v1. So it will be m1 u1 minus m1 v1 is equal to m2 u1 plus m2 v1. Clear? So m1 u1 minus m2 u1 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v1. This is simple mathematical algebra. So m1 minus m2, here u1 is common in both sides, in both term. So take u1 is as a common. So m1 minus m2 u1 is equal to m1 plus m2 into v1. So v1 is equal to what? m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 u1. Yes or no? So this is the v1. Velocity of object having mass m1 after collision. Now put the value of v1 in v2 here. So it will be v2 is equal to u1 plus m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1, where we know v2 is equal to what? u1 plus v1. So all these terms are only mathematical terms. So now we will solve for v2. So v2 is equal to u1 into 1 plus m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. So v2 is equal to, when we take LCM, it will be m1 plus m2. So m1 plus m2 plus m1 minus m2 into u1. So the m1, m2 cancel out. The remaining term is 2m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. Clear? So this is the velocity of object having mass m2 after collision. Clear? Now special cases. Case first, equal masses. If the mass is equal, m1 is equal to m2, in that case what will be the v1 and what will be the v2? Let's see. So v1 is equal to what? So we know the formula of the v1, that is v1 equal to m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. Yes or no? Now here m1 is equal to m2. So just put the value here. You will be get the correct answer. So when m1 is equal to m2, so v1 is equal to what? 0. Yes or no? So v2 is equal to what? We know the formula of v2, which is 2m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. So this is the, just put the value of here, m1 is equal to m2. So it will be become v2 is equal to u1. The answer will be, we can say, the particle exchange their velocities. First particle stops and second one moves with the final velocity of the first. So second particle moves with second particle having velocity v2 moves with initial velocity, that is u1. Clear? This is the special case first. Now we will talk about the second case, then third case. Case second, a very heavy mass collides with a light stationary mass. m1 is greater than m2. So m1 minus m2 is approximately equal to m1. Here we choose m1 minus m2 is equal to this one. And m1 plus m2 is equal to m1 because m1 is greater than m2. So this is our assumption. So now we know the value of v1. So just put the value of m1 minus m2 is equal to m1. So the equation v1 become m1 divided by m1 into u1 is equal to u1. Here m1 is unaffected. And u2, v2 is equal to what? This one. We know the v2 is equal to 2m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. So v2 is equal to 2 times of u1. So this is the case second, where final velocity of object having mass m1 is become u1 and the v2 become 2 times of u1. Clear? Now we will talk about the case third. Case third is a light mass collides with a very heavy stationary mass. So like a car, like a cycle collide with a car, or we can say a car collide with a truck. So here m2 is greater than m1. Light mass collides with very heavy stationary mass. So have very heavy stationary mass like a truck. So truck be at rest and car moving with some initial speed. So when car collide with a heavy truck, so the case will be what? m2 is greater than m1 here. So in that case, we choose m1 minus m2 is equal to minus m2, and m1 plus m2 is equal to m2. This is our assumption. So we know v1 is equal to m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. So just put the value m1 minus m2 and m1 plus m2 into u1. So m2 can cancel out, the remaining term is minus u1. So we can say v1 is approximately equal to minus u1. The light mass rebounds with its own speed, that is u1. If we talk about v2, so we know the formula of v2, standard formula, that is 2m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. So here m1 minus m2 we assume is equal to minus m2, and m1 plus m2 is equal to m2. So just put the value here, 2m1 as it is divided by m1 plus m2 is equal to m2 into u1 as it is. So here 2m1. So the heavy mass object remain at rest in that case. So v2 is equal to 0. Now head-on elastic collision. Head-on elastic collision. So in one-dimensional or head-on elastic collision, the particles move along the same straight line before and after collision. So this is the scenario. The particles before collision and after collision moves along same straight line. So let's see the definition of head-on elastic collision. A head-on elastic collision is a type of elastic collision in which two bodies move along the same straight line, or we can say along the x-axis before and after collision. So like see, we have two bodies having mass m1 and m2. Before collision they are moving on along straight line. After collision the velocity will be changed and the masses of the objects is m1 and m2 remain same, and they are moving with v1 and v2 velocity respectively along a straight line. So total momentum and kinetic energy of the system remains the same before and after collision in head-on elastic collision. So consider here two masses m1 and m2 and their initial velocities u1 and u2 and final velocity v1 and v2 respectively. Now if we talk about the head-on elastic collision, the conservation of momentum is m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Why here u2 is not equal to 0? Because the object second having mass m2 moving with initial speed u2. So according to conservation of momentum, the momentum of the object before collision is equal to the momentum of the objects after collision is equal. So m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So here take m1 as a common. This term m1 v1, take out LHS side, so it will be m1 common, u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 v2 minus u2. So when m2 u2, take out RHS side, so it will be become like this. And let this is equation first. So for an elastic collision, conservation of kinetic energy is this one, half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square. This is the equation before collision. After collision, it will be m1 v1 square plus m2 half m2 v2 square. We know kinetic energy is 1 by 2 mass into velocity square. So here before collision, if we talk about the object having mass m1, their kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m1 u1 square, and object having mass m2, their kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m2 u2 square. This is the condition before collision. And after condition, it will be 1 by 2 m1 v1 square plus 1 by 2 m2 v2 square. Clear? So now 1 by 2 from LHS side and RHS side are cancel out. The remaining term is m1 u1 square minus v1 square is equal to m2 v2 square minus u2 square. This is the simple mathematics. So here take out m1 v1 square LHS side and m2 u2 square RHS side. The equation become like this. Now here u1 square minus v1 square. This is the when we solve u1 square minus v1 square, the factor is u1 minus v1 into u1 plus v1, because we know a square minus v square is what? A plus b and a minus v. Same here. m1 u1 minus m1 into u1 minus v1 into u1 plus v1, and this one m2 v2 minus u2 into v2 plus u2, and let this equation second. Now we will solve this equation. So derivation of final velocities, elastic collision. So m1 u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 v2 minus u2. So it will be equation first, and equation second is m1 u1 minus v1 into u1 plus v1 is equal to m2 into v2 minus u1 into v2 plus u2. So now dividing equation second by first, we get a new equation. Now here we will assume that u1 is not equal to v1 and u2 is not equal to v2. So after dividing, it will be m1 into u1 minus v1 into u1 plus v1, and divided by m1 into u1 minus v1 is equal to m2 v2 minus u2 into v2 plus u2, and divided by m2 into v2 minus u2. So here m1 cancel out from LHS side. Similarly, u1 minus v1 cancel out, and if we talk about RHS side, m2 cancel out. Similarly, v2 minus u2 cancel out. So the remaining term is u1 plus v1 is equal to v2 plus u2. Yes or no? So rearranging terms. So u1 plus v1 is equal to v2 plus u2. So u1 minus u2 is equal to v2 minus v1, and let this is equation third. So relative velocity of approach is equal to relative velocity of separation here. From this equation third, it is clear that relative velocity of approach, it means u1 minus u2. This is the relative, shows the change of initial velocity. If we talk about LHS, from LHS side, and if we talk about from RHS side, v2 minus v1. This is the relative velocity of separation after collision. So from equation third, we can write V2 is equal to U1 minus U2 plus V1. Yes or no? This is simple mathematical algebra. Now substitute this expression for V2 into equation first. So it will be M1 into U1 minus V1 is equal to M2 U1 minus U2 plus V1 minus U2. So after multiplication, it will be M1 U1 minus M1 V1 is equal to M2 U1 minus M2 U2 plus M2 V1 minus M2 U2 after multiplication. So it will be, when we solving this, M1 U1 minus M1 V1 is equal to M2 U1 minus 2 M2 U2 plus M2 V1. So this is just mathematical terms. So rearranging terms, we will get minus M1 V1 minus M2 V1 is equal to minus M1 U1 plus M2 U1 minus 2 times of M2 U2. So take V1 common, so it will be minus M1 plus M2 is into V1 is equal to minus M1 U1 plus M2 U1 minus 2 times of M2 U2. So don't be confused here. This is just simple mathematics. Therefore, V1 is this one. M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 U1 into U1 plus 2 times of M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into U2. This is clear. This is the V1, velocity of particle having mass M1 after collision. Clear? Now we will calculate V2. So substitute this back into equation 4th to get V2. So it will be V1 is equal to M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 2 times of M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into U2. So after substitution, it will be V2 is equal to U1 minus U2 into M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus 2 times of M2 M1 plus M2 into U2. So V2 become like this, 2 times of M1 divided by M1 plus M2 into U1 plus M2 minus M1 divided by M1 plus M2 into U2. So we will get V1 and V2. So final speed of the particle is, this is V1 and this is V2. Clear? This is the final speed of the particle. Collision in 2 dimensions. Now we will learn about the collisions in 2 dimensions. So in 2-dimensional collision, particles move in a plane before and after collision. Or we can say a 2-dimensional collision is a collision in which the objects move in a different directions, not just along the straight line. That means the motion has both along x-axis and along y-axis components. So in 2-dimensional collision, the linear momentum is conserved. And conservation of momentum is a vector equation which can be broken down into components along perpendicular axis. It means x-axis or y-axis. So consider mass m1 with velocity u1 colliding with a stationary mass m2. So their speed is, the object having mass m2 be at rest. So u2 equal to 0. After collision, they move with velocities v1 and v2 at angles theta1 and theta2 with initial direction x-axis respectively. So look at figure 5.10. Object having mass m1, initial speed u1. Object having mass m2, initial speed is what? 0, because m2 be at rest. Now when m1 collide with m2, so after collision their velocities moves along different directions. So here m1 move with velocity v1, m2 moves with velocity v2, and the angle makes with initial direction, that is x-axis, that is theta1 and theta2. So when we resolve v1 vector, so it will be v1 cos theta1. Yes or no? This is the speed along x-axis. If we talk about the speed along y-axis, it will be v1 sin theta1. Similarly, v2 moves in different direction. So their component is v2 cos theta2 along x-axis and v2 sin theta2 along y-axis. This is the after collision scenario. Yes or no? Please answer. The illustration is clear. Collision of mass m1 with stationary mass m2, because this is very important. Okay. So momentum conservation equation. Here we will solve momentum along two axes, x-axis and y-axis. So if we talk about x component, so here the momentum of object having mass m1 is m1 u1, and momentum of object having mass m2 is 0, because m2 be at rest. Now after collision, the momentum of object having mass m1 is m1 v1 cos theta1, and object having mass m2, their momentum is m2 v2 cos theta2. This is along this is if we talk about the along x-axis. Now along y component, the initial momentum is 0, because before collision there is no information about the y component collision. So this LHS side is 0, and RHS side the momentum is m1 v1 sin theta1 minus m2 v2 sin theta2. So m1 v1 sin theta1 is equal to m2 v2 sin theta. So for elastic collision, kinetic energy is conserved. So the kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m1 u1 square before collision. After collision, the kinetic energy is 1 by 2 m1 v1 square plus m2 v2 square. Yes or no? Example 5.12. Consider the collision depicted in figure 5.10 to be between two billiard balls with equal masses. m1 is equal to m2. The first ball is called the cue, while the second ball is called the target. Second is the target. The billiard player wants to sink the target ball in a corner pocket which is at an angle theta 2. Assume the collision is elastic. It means there is no loss of kinetic energy, and that friction and rotational motion are important. So obtain theta 1. So in this question you have to find out the theta 1. Please think about this question and try to solve. You have some time. Let's see the solution of this question. So, solution. The given masses are equal. It means m1 equal to m2 equal to m. Theta 2 is 37 degree. Collision is elastic. It means there is no loss of energy, kinetic energy. For elastic collisions between equal masses, we can use the following concepts. First, conservation of momentum. Second, conservation of energy. Third, collision equations for equal masses. Clear? So, conservation of momentum. So, if we talk about the conservation of momentum along x component, so it will be m1 u1 is equal to m1 v1 cos theta 1 plus m2 v2 cos theta 2. Because m2 be at rest, so their momentum should be 0. And it will be u1 m1 cancel out, so remaining term is u1 is equal to v1 cos theta 1 plus v2 cos 37 degree. So now conservation of momentum along y-axis. So there is no information before collision, so it will be 0, and m1 v1 sin theta 1 minus m v2 sin theta 2. So it will be m1 m v1 sin theta 1 is equal to m v2 sin theta 2. This is just simple terms. And v1 sin theta 1 equal to v2 sin 37 degree. Because when m1 collide with m2, so after collision, a ball moves velocity v1 and v2, and this is their components: v1 cos theta 1, v2 cos theta 2, v1 sin theta 1, and v2 sin theta 2. These components we already talked in previous slide. Clear? The about of these components we will already already learned in previous slides. So kinetic energy here is elastic. So half m1 u1 square is equal to 1 by 2 m v1 square plus 1 by 2 m v2 square. This is before collision and this is after collision. So the speeds is there, the relation between their speeds is u1 square equal to v1 square plus v2 square, because 1 by 2 and m is cancel out from each side. So next is, from equation first and second, we can express v1 and v2 in terms of u1. So it will be u1 is equal to v1 plus v2. So squaring the vectorially, taking dot product with itself. So it will be u1 dot u1 is equal to v1 plus v2 dot v1 plus v2. So when we solving this, we will get new terms. That is solving for u1 square. So u1 square is equal to v1 dot v1 plus v2 dot v2 plus 2v1 dot v2. So it will be u1 square equal to v1 square, because v1 dot v1 is v1 square. Similarly, v2 square plus 2v1 v2 cos theta 1 plus theta 2. This one, when we solving v1 dot v2, the answer is v1 v2 cos theta 1 plus cos theta 2. Now compare equation third and fourth. So third one is this one and fourth one is this one. When we comparing third equation and fourth equation, we will get v1 plus v2, v1 square plus v2 square is equal to v1 square plus v2 square plus 2v1 v2 cos theta 1 plus theta 2. This implies 2v1 v2 cos theta 1 plus theta 2 equal to 0, because we cannot take v1 square equal to 0, v2 square is 0, because this is not possible. So we choose 2v1 v2 cos theta 1 plus cos theta 2 equal to 0. So here v1 and v2 are non-zero, so we must have cos theta 1 plus cos theta 1 plus theta 2 equal to 0. So this means theta 1 plus theta 2 is equal to 90 degree. And theta 2 is 37 degree. This is given. So theta 1 is equal to 90 degree minus 37 degree. So it will be 53 degree. The result is The elastic collision of two equal masses, if one is initially at rest, they move off at right angles to each other after the collision. So we can say the angle between angle is theta 1 plus theta 2 is equal to 90 degree, or we can say angle between V1 and V2 is 90 degree. Summary: one-dimensional collisions, objects collide and move along the single straight line with velocities in the same direction. Perfectly inelastic collision, objects stick together after collision with maximum kinetic energy loss given by delta K is equal to 1 by 2 m1 m2 u1 square divided by m1 plus m2. Elastic collision, kinetic energy is conserved. Initial kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy. For particle first, V1 is m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 u1. For particle second, V2 is equal to 2 times of m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1. And general final velocities for elastic collisions, V1 m1 minus m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 2 times of m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into u2. And V2 is 2 times of m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus m2 minus m1 divided by m1 plus m2 into u2. Now we have some practice questions for you, and this is homework for you. First is, if m1 is equal to m2 in an elastic collision, what fraction of initial velocity will object 1 have after collision? Second is, in a perfectly inelastic collision between equal masses, what fraction of initial kinetic energy is lost? If m2 is greater than m1 in an elastic collision, what happens to v1? Fourth is, for a perfectly inelastic collision, what is the final velocity of the combined mass? And fifth is, in an elastic collision, if one object is initially at rest, u2 equal to 0, what is the relationship between final velocities? Clear?